I bet you didn't know the legend of Bhaji, a samurai of honor, wisdom, and compassion who took on multiple demons with the help of some unlikely adversaries a long time ago in ancient Japan. You see, Bhaji was raised a samurai, taught the way of the samurai. He valued honor even over his own life. His father, Jin Sakayori, leader of the Sakayori clan, had fallen during the Great Samurai War. Raised by his uncle, Genku Takisama, king of the Takisama clan, he has had to take the place of his fallen father and become leader of the Sakayori clan. It was as the leader of the Sakayori clan that he met his wife Xiaolin, and together they birthed a son, Shino Sakayori. It has been 20 years since the Great Samurai War. Everything and everybody have all been at peace. Until Bhaji was at home tending to the rice fields that he and his wife Xiaolin had grown. It was harvesting season. Xiaolin had already started preparing supper, so Bhaji decided to harvest the rice alone as Shino was still quite young. While harvesting the rice, Bhaji hears Xiaolin scream, "Ah! Stop your hurty!" Then her voice cuts off. Shino screams soon after, "My mother! No, please stop!" Bhaji rushed in as fast as he could, but as he arrives there, his wife and son lie in the son's room on the floor. Bhaji looked all around the house but found nothing, so he checked by the fields. In doing so, he met a strange man. The strange man says to Bhaji, "Demons lurk the earth. I could feel it in my bones. Another war is soon to come. A war that exists in the world around us. In another dimension, a world we cannot see. We must prepare, for only the strong samurai survive." The strange man looks into Bhaji's eyes. "You have a very dark past. I can see it now. It will be your demise. Something has made you blind. What you seek is not a man, but something that is not of this world." Bhaji Sakayori, now the leader of the Sakayori clan, is fueled by revenge. The demons who took Xiaolin and Shino from him must be defeated. His journey is perilous, and every step is a battle for survival. As Bhaji treks through the dense forest, he senses a presence. The air grows heavy, and the sounds of nature seem to fade away. Suddenly, he spots a figure in the distance. This is no ordinary archer. Standing 7 feet tall, with the head of a tiger and a body covered in ancient armor, the being exudes an aura of both power and mystery. Bhaji's grip tightens around the hilt of his sword as he approaches cautiously, each step measured and deliberate. Yet, for reasons beyond comprehension, Bhaji hesitated to attack. "There's something about him," Bhaji thought. "He appears to be a demon, but I cannot find the mindset to attack him." His movements precise and deliberate. The air was thick with tension, and Bhaji's mind raced with uncertainty. Should he confront this mysterious figure, or continue to observe from afar? The tiger archer's eyes lock onto Bhaji's, and an unspoken tension fills the air. What are the intentions of this formidable creature? Is he friend or foe? Bhaji's heart races, but his resolve remains unshaken. He must uncover the truth, for the future of his clan and the fate of his world hang in the balance. Bhaji cautiously approached Kenji the tiger archer. The tension was palpable as they sized each other up. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the outcome of this fateful encounter. Suddenly, Kenji shot an arrow, but Bhaji twirled his sword, deflecting it with ease. The clang of metal against metal echoed through the trees, a testament to their incredible skills. With each clash, the two warriors demonstrated their prowess. Bhaji's swift sword strikes were met with Kenji's precise, powerful archery. Leaves rustled and birds took flight as the battle raged on. A whirlwind of strength and strategy. Despite the intensity, a mutual respect began to form between them. Finally, both fighters paused, breathing heavily but standing tall. They had tested each other's limits and found a worthy opponent. In that moment of understanding, they lowered their weapons. Bhaji extended a hand, and Kenji, with a nod of respect, accepted it. They realized that together, their strengths could forge a powerful alliance. From enemies to allies, Bhaji and Kenji decided to unite their forces. The bond of their newfound friendship would be crucial in the battles to come. For the future of his clan and the fate of his world, Bhaji knew he had gained a formidable ally in Kenji the Tiger Archer. As Bhaji the Samurai and Kenji the Tiger Archer set off on their adventure, Kenji senses a great rage lying dormant inside the heart of his newfound ally. Kenji thinking to himself, something is bothering him. Kenji turns to Bhaji, concern etched on his face. Kenji says to Bhaji, "Bhaji, what has troubled you, my friend?" Bhaji looks at Kenji with sorrow in his eyes, a sorrow that hints at a deep, hidden tragedy. Without saying a word, Kenji places a comforting hand upon Bhaji's shoulder, understanding the weight of unspoken pain. Kenji says to Bhaji, "A matter of the past, I too have a troubled past. I was a natural-born hunter, even before my days as an archer. I used to hunt with my bare hands. My king saw the potential in my hunt and decided I would be better fitted as his top guard. He gave me a bow and taught me the ways of archery. I saw in him a father." Kenji's voice grows softer, filled with the weight of old memories. Kenji continues. The king came to ask for my skilled hands after becoming the top archer of the kingdom to go and slay a beast. As I arrived, my target could sense me coming and blasted me with a ray of light, leaving me blind. With my vision gone, I had to rely on using only my ears to sense her vibrating movements. I waited until she was in front of me. I jumped back, fired off a single arrow, and after the light had finally settled, I could see that it was no beast at all. It was an angel sent by the gods. Slaying that angel has cursed me to a life of vengeance. The forest around them seems to echo with Kenji's words, the weight of past actions and the burden of their consequences hanging in the air. Bhaji's eyes soften, understanding that they both carry heavy burdens. Bhaji softly, we all have our demons, Kenji. Perhaps together we can find a way to silence them. Their journey continues, now bound not just by their alliance, but by a shared understanding of the pain that shapes them. The path ahead is fraught with danger, but with each other's support, they march forward, ready to face whatever comes their way. Bhaji with a heavy sigh. Kenji, there's something about my past that I am reluctant to tell you. Kenji with curiosity and concern. What is it, my friend? Bhaji begins to explain, his voice trembling with emotion. After becoming the leader of the Sakayori clan, 20 years after the Great Samurai War, I met a woman named Xiaolin. We fell in love and together raised a son named Shino Sakayori. We have been at peace for so long. Bhaji's eyes swell up with emotion. One day, in the middle of harvesting season, my wife was preparing supper and Shino was playing in his room. I heard screams coming from Xiaolin and Shino, so I ran as fast as I could. But I arrived too late. I've hunted this man for years, but... Kenji interrupts, placing a hand on Bhaji's shoulder. Bhaji, it's not your fault. Bhaji with a pained expression. Kenji, that man was me. I killed my wife and son under the control of demons. That is why I fight, to conceal this rage inside, to avenge and bring honor back to my family, my name, and to this kingdom. Kenji looks at Bhaji with understanding and resolve. Our troubled pasts are not what defines us. What defines us is whether or not we are able to go through our past and come out on top. What defines us is whether you have the guts to step up and become a person of honor, loyalty, and you can become that person. Just keep fighting for what's right. As Bhaji looks at Kenji, feeling relieved of the burden of his past and ready to journey forward, a sudden chill runs down his spine. His eyes narrow as he spots a dark figure in the distance, an aura of pure malevolence surrounding it. Bhaji, with a voice tinged with dread. Kenji, do you see that? Kenji, squinting into the distance. What is it, Bhaji? The scene shifts to a flashback, the voice of the strange old man echoing in Bhaji's mind. The old man's face is shrouded in shadow, his voice a haunting whisper. Old man's voice, eerie and prophetic. Beware, Bhaji. The peace you have known is but a fleeting dream. An impending war looms, one that will test your resolve and the very fabric of your soul. The darkness you once faced will return, stronger and more relentless. Cut back to the present. Bhaji's eyes widen in realization, his heart pounding in his chest. The figure in the distance begins to move, its intentions clear and sinister. Bhaji, determined but wary. Kenji, we must prepare. The war the old man warned me about. It's coming. Kenji, with unwavering loyalty. Then we fight, Bhaji. We fight for our loved ones, for our honor, and for the future of our kingdom. With renewed resolve, Bhaji and Kenji ready themselves to fight off the malevolent presence they both can sense lurking around. They share a glance, not saying a word, but simply understanding each other's subtle movements. As Bhaji and Kenji press forward on their quest, they find themselves standing at the entrance of a dark, foreboding cave, the lair of the demons. Bhaji and Kenji approached slowly, their eyes fixed on a figure in the distance. It was a malevolent creature, a being with the appearance of a demon. As Bhaji continued to watch, the creature began to morph, taking on the form of Bhaji. The demon's presence was both menacing and captivating, wearing Bhaji's likeness, threatening to overwhelm the land, leaving Bhaji with a decision that could alter his fate forever. Give in to your rage, Bhaji, said Demon Bhaji. You're denying your true strength. Only in rage can one become his true self. As Bhaji looks at the malevolent demon, his eyes filled with determination, the air around them crackles with tension. The demon's malevolent aura grows stronger, pulsating with dark energy. Bhaji tightens his grip on his sword, ready to face the ultimate challenge. Bhaji with unwavering resolve. I will not give in to rage. My strength lies in my honor and my love for my people. The demon, wearing Bhaji's likeness, sneers, its voice dripping with malice. Demon Bhaji, taunting. You fool! Honor and love are mere illusions. In the end, only power matters. The scene intensifies as Bhaji and the demon circle each other, the tension palpable. Kenji stands at the ready, his eyes fixed on the demon, prepared to support Bhaji at any moment. Bhaji, with a fierce determination. I will prove you wrong. I will fight for what truly matters. With a swift, powerful motion, Bhaji charges at the demon, their swords clashing in a flurry of sparks. The battle is fierce and relentless, each strike more intense than the last. The demon fights with a ferocity born of pure malice, but Bhaji's resolve does not waver, Kenji shouting, "Stay strong, Bhaji! Remember why you fight!" Bhaji's mind flashes to the faces of his loved ones, the people he has sworn to protect. With renewed strength, he pushes back against the demon, their swords locked in a deadly embrace. Demon Bhaji, struggling. "This is impossible. How can you be this strong?" Bhaji, with a voice of unwavering conviction. "Because I fight with my heart, not just my sword." With a final powerful strike, Bhaji overpowers the demon, sending it crashing to the ground. The malevolent aura begins to dissipate, the demon's form fading away. Bhaji stands victorious, his breathing heavy but his spirit unbroken. Kenji approaching Bhaji with admiration. "You did it, Bhaji! You defeated the darkness!" Bhaji with a sense of calm and resolve. "This is just the beginning, Kenji. We must remain vigilant. The true battle for our kingdom has only just begun." As the scene fades, Bhaji and Kenji stand together, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead, their bond stronger than ever. Bhaji and Kenji continue their path through the demon realm. As Kenji approaches the gate, he sees 2 demon guarding the main gate, and 2 demon guarding from atop of 2 towers built from bones and skulls. The reek of rot in the air, Kenji says to Bhaji. 2 demon guard by the main gate, 2 more guard from the towers above, Bhaji says to Kenji. "If you could find a tower just out of view, I could cause a distraction to get the attention of the demons guarding the main gate. When you hear the sound of my sword clashing against the demon, that will be your chance." Kenji says to Bhaji, "I've only 2 arrows left, Bhaji, but I will assist you however possible." Kenji approaches the tower closest in range, but furthest from sight, as he awaits for the signal from Bhaji. Bhaji then approaches the demons guarding the main gate. But then, as if the demons had heard of their plan, 1 demon disappears from the main gate, only to appear in front of Kenji the demon, then morphs into Kenji just as the other demon morphs into Bhaji. Demon Kenji smirks with his eyes glowing red. He says to Kenji, "You are an enemy of the gods. You cannot atone for your past," Kenji says to the demon. "My past does not define me. I have sinned, this I know, but I will atone for all the pain and suffering I have caused in the name of my king." Demon Kenji emits an overwhelming aura as he says to Kenji, "You think you will be forgiven? A fool is what you are. You have taken the life of a servant of God, for that you'll be harshly punished here in the demon realm for all eternity." Kenji, feeling the overwhelming aura of Demon Kenji, says, "No matter how tough God's wrath may be, I know that He can see what lies in my heart, and all that I have overcome and everything that I face, I will do from here on with honor." Kenji begins to emit an overwhelming aura of his own as he pulls back on his bow. Demon Kenji mirrors Kenji's movement. They both release a series of arrows while flipping through the air, mirroring each other's every move. The sound of the arrows clashing together made fierce impact, with sounds of lightning echoing through the air. Bhaji hears the sound of Kenji's arrow and yells out, "Kenji!" Demon Bhaji says to Bhaji, "You fool, you cannot save him. This is where you meet your end." Demon Bhaji begins emitting a malevolent, demonic aura. Bhaji, fueled by vengeance for Xiaolin and Shino, began emitting an aura unlike anything he has ever felt before, a bright blue aura. Bhaji says to Demon Bhaji, "I will not fall to you, demon, every step I take. Every slash of my sword shall be done in honor, and I will vanquish every demon, free my uncle, the king, and save the clan." Bhaji and Demon Bhaji begin mirroring each other's movements. As Bhaji removes his sword from his sheath, Demon Bhaji does the same. The demon archers take aim at Bhaji and fire multiple flaming arrows. With flaming arrows now surrounding them, Bhaji and Demon Bhaji begin clashing swords together. The force of the swords colliding caused the arrows that were close in range to split down the middle and drop to the ground. With more flaming arrows still gaining on him, Bhaji slices off Demon Bhaji's hand with a force that causes the demon hand to spin with the sword in hand, splitting all remaining arrows as Bhaji and Demon Bhaji land back on the ground on their feet. Demon Bhaji, being injured, decides to tell Bhaji of his birth to buy time to regenerate his hand. Demon Bhaji, "You know the truth of your past and you have faced it head on. This much I am aware of. But I bet you didn't know that your past is linked to ours," Bhaji says to the demon. "What is this you are speaking of? Speak up now, or I will end you, foul demon." Demon Bhaji, "Bhaji, you remember the night that you murdered your own wife and son? Well," Demon Bhaji began to smirk as his hand finishes regenerating. "That night, your rage gave birth to us." Cut back to Kenji. Kenji pounces at Demon Kenji and sinks his teeth into his throat. Demon Kenji teleports and pounces onto Kenji. Kenji, "This will not be my last fight." Kenji sinks his claws into Demon Kenji's sides and rolls on top. They both stand up still in a clinch as they approach the edge of the tower. Kenji sinks his feet into Demon Kenji's chest and backflips off the cliff while biting Demon Kenji's throat out, landing on top of Demon Kenji. Kenji, I'm coming, Bhaji! Kenji, seeing his opportunity, takes out the two demon archers. Bhaji and Demon Bhaji still matching blow for blow, as stones around them shatter from the sheer force of the swords colliding together. Kenji had arrived to the main gate to aid Bhaji in battle, but upon arrival, Demon Bhaji had spotted Kenji and saw that he was preparing to attack, so he prepared a strategy while fighting with Bhaji. Demon Bhaji thinking to himself, I see, so I'll just wait until he's just about to release the pressure of that bow and arrow, and then... Kenji releases the arrow. Demon Bhaji, now! Demon Bhaji throws Bhaji in front of him to be hit by Kenji's arrow, but Bhaji in the nick of time deflects it with his sword. Demon Bhaji, caught off guard, gets slashed across his chest. Demon Bhaji, in an effort to distract Bhaji, morphs into Xiaolin and speaks in Xiaolin's voice. You've killed me, Bhaji. Please, don't kill me again. Bhaji, you are not my wife. Demon Bhaji then morphs into Shino and speaks in Shino's voice. Why did you hurt me, Daddy? Bhaji's eyes begin tearing up. Shino, Demon Bhaji in Shino's voice. Was I mean to you, Daddy? Bhaji, no Shino you. Demon Bhaji using Shino's voice. I love you, Daddy, please don't hurt me again. Kenji yells to Bhaji, Bhaji, don't listen to him. That's not Shino. Bhaji snaps out of the demon's dark magic, but it was just in that very moment the demon's sword had pierced through Bhaji's heart, and Bhaji has fallen to his knees with his hands on his chest. The demon has opened the portal that was once sealed by the king, which led from the demon realm to a path deep in the woods by Sato village, where the king was being held captive by the demons. Kenji rushed to Bhaji's side immediately. Kenji placed a hand on Bhaji's shoulder. Kenji, Bhaji said, gasping for air. It's up to you, my friend. You must save the king. Kenji looks at Bhaji with a wearied face. I will, my friend, and I vow to you that I will avenge you, Xiaolin and Shino. As Kenji is about to enter the portal that leads to Sato village, he senses another demon lurking in the midst of the demon realm. Kenji, another demon, though the energy coming from that one is much more powerful. Kenji approaches the shadowy figure with caution. The demon spots Kenji approaching and leaps into the air. The demon sends out his tongue and wraps Kenji up and slams him through an archer tower. The demon lands in front of Kenji as Kenji is getting up from the ground. Kenji rubs his eyes, still unable to focus enough to see the enemy. Who is this demon? Will Kenji be able to keep his vow to Bhaji? The fate of the village, perhaps the fate of the world, hangs in the balance. Kenji, now being able to focus, sees a demon with the head of a frog and the body of a man holding a spear and shield. Kenji, while on the ground, sweeps the frogman's legs out from under him. Kenji pounces at the frogman with blinding speed, but the frogman places his feet on the ground and leaps backward, leading Kenji to fall on his face. The frogman says to Kenji, "You will never catch me moving so slow." Kenji, while lying on the ground, began to smirk. "I'm faster than you think. Ha!" And before the frogman can see him move, Kenji had appeared behind the frogman. The frogman turning around. "Why didn't you kill me? What game are you playing at?" Kenji says. "You could have killed me too. What stopped you?" The frogman. "During our battle, I could see glimpses of your past. I have seen all that you have overcome. I see that your intentions are pure." Kenji. "I have vowed an oath in honor to avenge my fallen friend, and I will defeat the demon that has killed Xiaolin, Shino, and now my friend Bhaji." Frogman. "I see." The frogman looks at Kenji understandingly. "Then I shall accompany you. Allow me to introduce myself," said the frogman. "I am Bruno." As the portal's glow fades, Kenji and Bruno find themselves in the heart of the deep, damp woods near Sato village. The air is thick with anticipation, a foreboding silence broken only by the rustling leaves. Suddenly, the shadows around them shift and twist, morphing into grotesque reflections of themselves, demon versions of Kenji and Bruno. Demon Bruno's voice echoes through the woods, dripping with malice. "Bruno, your past has made you a demon. Now accept me, and become one." Bruno's resolve hardens. "I'll never accept you. This place will become part of my past as I defeat you and live a life amongst humans. I will achieve honor." With a fierce battle cry, Bruno launches his spear at Demon Bruno. In a swift motion, Demon Bruno catches the spear and hurls it back. Bruno deflects it towards Demon Kenji, who catches it midair and slashes Kenji's chest. Kenji, undeterred, sinks his teeth into Demon Kenji's head, a furious clash of wills. Demon Bruno then taunts. "Your father would be disappointed to see what you've become." Bruno's mind floods with memories. His father's proud word. "You will be a great warrior someday. You will be our hero and make me proud." But then, a darker memory surfaces. The moment he killed his father, a punishment that turned him into a frogman and banished him to the demon realm. This curse could only be lifted by a hero with pure intentions. Bruno, now filled with a mix of sorrow and determination, shouts, "I will break this curse and restore peace to all villages!" In a final desperate move, Bruno and Kenji coordinate their attacks. Bruno's spear strikes true, piercing through Demon Bruno, while Kenji delivers a fatal blow to Demon Kenji. The demons dissolve into shadows, their echoes fading into the night. Bruno collapses to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Kenji places a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Your redemption begins now, Bruno. Together, we will save the king and restore peace." As they stand, the path ahead becomes clear, illuminated by the first light of dawn. A new chapter begins, forged in the fires of redemption and the promise of honor. As Bruno and Kenji press on through the dense forest, the atmosphere grows darker and more oppressive. The trees seem to close in around them, the shadows stretching longer with each step. The air is thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Bruno, still grappling with the weight of his confession, walks with a heavy heart. Kenji, sensing his friend's turmoil, remains close, offering silent support. The path ahead is shrouded in mist, and the sense of foreboding grows stronger. Suddenly, a faint whisper echoes through the trees, sending a chill down their spines. The whisper grows louder, more insistent, until it becomes a cacophony of voices. The shadows around them begin to shift and writhe, taking on sinister forms. Kenji draws his sword, his eyes scanning the darkness. "Stay close, Bruno. We don't know what we're dealing with." Bruno nods, gripping his spear tightly. "I'm ready, Kenji. Whatever comes, we'll face it together." As the whispers reach a fever pitch, the shadows coalesce into a towering figure, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent. The figure steps forward, its presence radiating an aura of pure evil. "I am the Shadow King," the figure intones, its voice a deep, resonant growl. "You have entered my domain. Prepare to face the consequences." Kenji and Bruno exchange a determined glance. They know that this battle will test their resolve and their bond like never before. With a roar, the Shadow King lunges at them, his dark energy crackling through the air. Kenji meets his attack head-on, their swords clashing with a deafening clang. Bruno circles around, looking for an opening to strike. The battle is fierce and relentless, each blow pushing them to their limits. But Kenji and Bruno fight with a newfound strength, their bond giving them the courage to stand against the darkness. As the fight rages on, Kenji's mind flashes back to Bhaji's words of wisdom. "The light within us is our greatest weapon against the shadows." Summoning every ounce of his strength, Kenji channels his inner light, his sword glowing with a brilliant, radiant energy. With a powerful strike, he shatters the Shadow King's defenses, leaving him vulnerable. Bruno seizes the moment, his spear finding its mark. The Shadow King lets out a final, anguished roar before dissolving into the shadows from whence he came. Breathing heavily, Kenji and Bruno stand victorious. The forest around them begins to lighten, the oppressive darkness lifting. Kenji places a hand on Bruno's shoulder, his voice filled with pride. "Together, we can overcome anything." Bruno nods, a small smile forming on his lips. "Thank you, Kenji, for everything." As they continue their journey, the bond between them stronger than ever. They know that the road ahead will be fraught with challenges, but with their friendship and determination, they are ready to face whatever lies ahead. The epic journey continues, a testament to the power of light, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit. After defeating the Shadow King, Kenji and Bruno enter a damp forest. The trees begin to crackle and the ground begins to shake. Bruno says to Kenji, "The trees look as if they are moving." Kenji alarming Bruno, "Turn around, Bruno." Just as Bruno turns around, a root from a demon tree wraps around Bruno's ankle and slams him to the ground. It then attempts to wrap its roots around Bruno's throat. Just then, Kenji leaps into the air with a flip, pulling far back onto the bow. Lightning forms around the arrow. Kenji fires the arrow into the root of the tree monster, causing it to release Bruno. Bruno then rises to his feet, ready to strike as another tree demon appears behind Kenji. Bruno leaps over to the tree demon behind Kenji. While in the air, Bruno places his shield below his feet. He then placed his spear below his shield. Lightning and a green aura formed around the shield and spear. Bruno lands on the head of the tree monster, causing it to split in half. Bruno, having split one tree demon in half, decides to aid Kenji. Kenji, with his mastery of archery and the lessons he learned on his journey with Bhaji, has become a formidable archer and a skilled samurai. To Kenji, this was just another chance to test his newfound samurai prowess. Kenji dashes towards the tree demon, unleashing a flurry of arrows. He then places his bow on his back and removed Bhaji's sword from the sheath on his waist. Kenji slashes the tree demon multiple times, each slash more powerful than the last. The tree demon says to Kenji, "You cannot hope to defeat me." Kenji replies, Foul demon, you have met your match, Kenji says to the tree demon as he swiftly slices the tree in half with Bhaji's sword, then sends a flurry of arrows at the tree trunk. Bruno then spears the tree trunk in half. The forest begins to calm and the birds start chirping. It would seem they had finally made their way out from the damp forest and were just outside of Sato village. What troubles lie in wait for Kenji and Bruno? Will they make it to the king? All that can be certain is that the fate of the world lies in the hands of these two completely different souls. As the first light of dawn began to shimmer on the horizon, Kenji and Bruno stood on the outskirts of Sahato village. The weight of their journey, the battles fought, and the allies lost, all culminated in this serene moment. The village, once a bustling center of trade and culture, now lay in ruins, a stark reminder of the Shadow King's tyranny. Kenji turned to Bruno, his eyes filled with a blend of exhaustion and determination. "We've come so far, Bruno, but our journey is not yet over." Bruno nodded, his grip tightening on his spear. "The king awaits, and with him, the final piece of this puzzle." As they took their first steps into the village, the air seemed to change. The oppressive weight of the shadows lifted, replaced by a sense of hope and renewal. Villagers, who had been hiding in fear, began to emerge from their homes, their faces lighting up at the sight of their saviors. An elderly woman approached them, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "You have given us hope." Kenji bowed respectfully. "The dawn of a new era is upon us. Together, we will rebuild and restore what was lost." The villagers gathered around, their spirits lifted by Kenji's words. Bruno raised his spear high, a symbol of their victory and the promise of a brighter future. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting its golden light over the village, the light within Bruno would begin to dissipate. Bruno begins to stare at Kenji, his green aura being overtaken by a purplish-black aura. The elderly woman whispers to Kenji, "Something has taken him over." Kenji nods, acknowledging the elderly woman as she continues, "I will alert the other villagers to get back into hiding." The elderly woman alerted the villagers. Bruno approaches Kenji. "You have killed my mother." Bruno swings his spear at Kenji. Kenji, acting swiftly, blocks him with his bow. "Bruno, snap out of it, my friend. I am not your mother's killer." To which Bruno replies, "Lies." Bruno spins and strikes Kenji in the face with his shield. Kenji jumps into the air. Bruno leaps into the air sun, after Kenji swings Bhaji's sword. But at the same time, Bruno begins swinging his spear. With each clash of the sword and spear colliding together, a thunderous impact begins to shake and crack the ground. "Kenji, can't you see the damage we're causing? You are not your past Bruno." The aura around Bruno began to dissipate into its natural green aura. "I'm sorry, Kenji," Bruno said. "I don't know what has come over me, but thank you, my friend, for saving me from myself." As Kenji and Bruno approached the gate to Sato village, their resolve had reached new bounds as they had been pushed to their very limits, both physically and mentally. They remain calm and ready to take on whatever lies ahead, for their journey to the king is almost at an end. As Kenji and Bruno meet a young knight named Sarubi, the king is being held captive inside that castle. Allow me to accompany you. They then are thrust into the depths of their pasts. The castle fades away, replaced by the echoes of their memories. Each hero finds themselves in a different setting, facing the trials that have haunted them for years. Kenji stands in the middle of a burning village, the screams of its inhabitants piercing his ears. He sees his younger self, sword in hand, desperately trying to save the villagers from a marauding band of mercenaries. The sight of his failure, the lives lost, and the destruction wrought weigh heavily on him. Kenji's younger self, "I can't save them. I'm not strong enough." "Kenji, you were never meant to save everyone, but you must forgive yourself to move forward." The scene shifts, and Kenji finds himself face to face with the leader of the mercenaries. They engage in a fierce battle, each strike a testament to Kenji's growth and determination. With a final decisive blow, Kenji defeats the leader, the flames around him extinguishing as he steps out of his past. Meanwhile, Bruno is transported to a dark forest, the place where his village was ambushed by shadow creatures. He sees his younger self, paralyzed with fear, as the creatures destroy everything he holds dear. Bruno's younger self, "I can't fight them. I'm too scared." Bruno, "Fear is natural, but courage is facing that fear. You must stand and fight." Bruno's aura flares green as he faces the shadow creatures once more. He battles them with renewed vigor, his spear a blur of motion. As he defeats the last of the creatures, the forest transforms into a lush, vibrant landscape, symbolizing his triumph over fear. Sarubi finds herself in a grand hall, where she is a young knight in training, constantly overshadowed by her peers. She watches as her younger self falters during a crucial duel, the shame and disappointment evident on her face. Sarubi's younger self, "I'll never be as good as them." "Sarubi, you are strong in your own right. Believe in yourself and your abilities. The scene changes to a grand tournament. Sarubi, now older and more confident, faces her former rivals. She fights with grace and precision, her movements a testament to her hard-earned skills. As she defeats her final opponent, the hall erupts in applause, her past insecurities fading away. The three heroes are reunited in the castle, their past trials conquered. The demons, now weakened, watch in disbelief. Kenji, we have faced our pasts and emerged stronger. The hold on us is broken. Bruno, we will atone for our sins and protect those we care about. Sarubi, the future is ours to shape. With renewed determination, the trio charges at the demons, their combined strength overwhelming their foes. The castle trembles as the last of the demons fall, their sinister laughter silenced forever. As the dust settles, the heroes stand victorious, their path reconciled and their resolve unbreakable. The path to King Genku Takisama is clear, and together they step forward, ready to face the final challenge. The journey continues, but with each step, they carry the strength of their pasts and the hope for a brighter future. As the castle corridors echo with the sounds of battle, King Genku Takisama stands alone in his throne room, his mind suddenly flooded with memories of a time long past. The room shifts around him, transforming into the serene dojo where he once trained with a young Bhaji Sakayori. Genku Takisama says to a young Bhaji, "You must find balance to become a great samurai. Balance can be found in all things on earth. Once achieving true balance, a samurai becomes unstoppable. Come, Bhaji, we'll continue our lesson in the river." Young Bhaji, right. Genku and Bhaji begin training on the canoe. Genku Takisama, a balanced samurai is a strong samurai. Genku Takisama, repeat that, Bhaji. Bhaji Sakayori, a balanced samurai is a strong samurai. Genku Takisama, excellent. Now, defend against my attack. Ha! Genku Takisama launches flying at a young Bhaji Sakayori with a spinning kick followed by a slash from his wooden katana. Bhaji remains stable on one leg and prepares to launch at Genku Takisama with a kick of his own. Genku Takisama, a great samurai can create balance by placing the soles of their feet firmly in the ground, even for just a second. Young Bhaji lands, the soles of his feet planted firmly on the ground. He lunges at Genku swinging his wooden katana, only to be matched with Genku. With every blow, young Bhaji can feel his samurai prowess growing. He'd become more confident in his abilities as a samurai. Cut back to the present. Genku Takisama had been kidnapped and held captive by a demon that has stolen the likeness of Genku. Takisama demon Genku's strength has multiplied in his battle with Genku Takisama. Demon Genku, I have already taken over your kingdom. You are powerless against me and my dark magic. Tell me, why do you continue to fight? Genku Takisama, I fight because I am king, a leader. My strength comes from the Takisama clan and the Sakayori clan. The people of this village and the fate of our world depends on a strong leader. Genku Takisama grips his hands around the hilt of his katana and unleashes a flurry of slashes. Genku began to glow a bright white aura with a lightning bolt pulsating around Genku's katana. Genku spins around and slashes at Demon Genku. Demon Genku, acting swiftly, catches Genku's katana with 2 fingers. The scene then cuts back to Kenji, Bruno, and Sarubi as they are fighting their demonic doppelgangers. Sarubi, with her spear and shield, is about to be struck by Demon Sarubi's spear slash. Sarubi, sensing the attack coming, was able to evade and flip out of range. Bruno, Sarubi, look out! As Demon Kenji fires a flurry of arrows at Sarubi's head. Sarubi ducks and covers her head with her shield. After blocking the arrows, Sarubi's shield began vibrating. Sarubi spins around with her shield as Demon Sarubi lunges at Sarubi with a dark purple aura forming around the spear. As Sarubi is spinning, gaining momentum, she targets Demon Sarubi and releases the vibrating shield, just as Demon Sarubi throws her pulsating spear towards Sarubi. Sarubi's vibrating shield connects with Demon Sarubi, slicing Demon Sarubi in half from the waist up, just as Demon Sarubi's spear pierces Sarubi's heart. Bruno screams, "Sarubi!" As Bruno goes to attend Sarubi, Demon Bruno slams down on the ground in front of him and wraps his tongue around Sarubi's throat. Sarubi groans as Demon Bruno's grip tightens around her throat. Bruno then wraps his tongue around Demon Bruno's wrist, preventing him from grabbing his spear. He then pulls Demon Bruno closer. Bruno grabs his spear, his green aura flickering back and forth from green to blue. He then launched himself towards Demon Bruno. The force of Bruno's attack caused Demon Bruno to release his grip from Sarubi's throat. Bruno continues to attack Demon Bruno. It's time to send you back to the demon realm from whence you came. Bruno thrusts the spear upward and through Demon Bruno's skull, causing his demonic body to dissipate. Kenji's resolve unshakable. His bow began to pulsate with an orange-blue aura. He unleashes a flurry of arrows. Demon Kenji, with swift movement, manages to evade every arrow. They begin mirroring each other's movement as they dash towards one another. The sheer force of their sword slashes were strong enough that each collision caused them to burrow deeper into the ground. Kenji thinking to himself, "This demon is relentless, far stronger than the demon Kenji I fought in the demon realm." Kenji's mind flashes back to Bhaji's inspirational words. A great samurai fights with more than just his sword. He fights with his heart. Even those with a heart of steel fight to protect the ones they love. Kenji remembering Bhaji's words. "Bhaji, the time is near. I will avenge you, my friend." Kenji now emitting an energy that seems to cause the demon to be weary. Demon Kenji, how can you still have this power inside? Kenji, because I am not just fighting to break free of my curse. I am fighting to ensure that peace will one day reign across the land. I fight for the people of this village and whomever is in need of a hero. I fight for honor. Kenji then focused his energy on Bhaji's katana, and it began radiating with an orange-blue aura. Once again, as he prepared his final attack, Bruno leaps onto Demon Kenji's back and wrapped him up with his tongue. Preventing Demon Kenji from evading the attack, Kenji thrusts his katana through Demon Kenji's chest. He then turns the sword and lifts upwards, causing Demon Kenji's body to dissipate. "Sarubi!" Kenji shouted, as he and Bruno rushed to Sarubi's side. With her last breath, Sarubi tells them, She pauses, gasping for air. "Sorry, I failed." Kenji replies, "No!" He pauses for a second, then continues, "You have done your best. You put up one hell of a fight, Sarubi. God truly must have a seat for you next to his throne." Sarubi's eyes close. Bruno, "Rest in peace, my friend." Kenji and Bruno prepare themselves as they approach a giant gate inside the castle. Could this be where the king is held captive? All that can be certain is that whatever lies ahead for our heroes next, they feel more than ready, as they have faced many foes together and have overcome every challenge thus far. As Kenji and Bruno enter through the giant gate, the corridor began twisting and turning. The walls began to close in as lava rose from the floor. "Kenji, we must move with stealth. Lava is rising from the ground, Bruno. We must leap from tile to tile until we reach the end of the corridor." Kenji and Bruno then leap from tile to tile, carefully avoiding the lava and the closing wall. Bruno noticed that the corridor was rigged with swinging axes, flaming torches, and swords which shot from the ground the moment they landed on the last tile, all controlled by the dark magic of the demons. Bruno and Kenji, acting swiftly, evade the swinging axes. Feeling the heat of the flaming torch, they both then crawl under the flames. The swords begin shooting out from beneath the ground. Bruno then leaps over the swords, and before landing, Kenji had appeared on the other side. Kenji, staring down the corridor, begins to see another demon. This was a demon with the appearance of a bear with glowing red eyes. This demon bear was covered in a demonic armor as he held a giant hammer made from blood, flesh, and bones of human remains in one hand, and in the other he held a giant axe. Behind the demon bear, warrior Bruno sees a gate. "Looks like we'll have to defeat this demon to open the gate." Kenji, "Then we shall attack together." Bruno, "On your ready, Kenji." Kenji, "Now!" Kenji and Bruno together. "Ha!" As Kenji and Bruno prepare for a battle against the demon bear warrior, the scene then returns to King Genku Takisama, Demon Genku still holding the blade with 2 fingers. He then yanks onto Genku's katana. Genku, gripping his katana tightly, is swung into a pillar. Genku extends his legs as his body approaches another pillar. He places the soles of his feet onto the pillar for a mere second. He then launches back at Demon Genku, causing him to lose his grip on the blade. Genku, while flying through the air, twists and twirls his body as he lands on his feet. Demon Genku sneers, his voice echoing with malice. "You call yourself a leader, but you have failed to protect your people. My soldiers and my hellhounds have slaughtered your entire clan, and to make matters worse, I have deceived the village into believing it was your nephew Bhaji." The scene then cuts to Kenji and Bruno. Kenji and Bruno charge at the demon bear together. Kenji with Bhaji's katana, and Bruno with his spear. Their auras seem to combine with one another, causing an illusion that the two had become one. The demon bear swings the hammer with the axe following after. The castle corridor began to shake as the force of Kenji and Bruno's aura collide with the demon's hammer and axe, causing the demon to stagger back. Kenji and Bruno still bound together by the illusion of their aura launch at the demon and kick him in the chest, causing him to cough up a magic red orb. Demon bear, "Impossible! I am a general, I will not lose." The demon bear then slams his heels into the ground, burrowing his paws deep into the ground as if trying to gain momentum. The castle begins to grow dark and eerie as lightning bolts erupt from the demon bear's body. Kenji, remembering a move used on him by Bhaji, began twirling his katana, and Bruno and Kenji no longer appeared as one being. Bruno covers himself with his shield, bracing for impact. Kenji, deflecting the lightning bolts, aims for Bruno's shield, which absorbed the energy from the lightning bolt and began to pulsate as lightning bolts now wrapped around his shield. Bruno has a thought. If I can get close enough, I can catch him off guard and use the energy absorbed by my shield to incapacitate him. Bruno and Kenji share a glance, not saying a word but simply understanding each other's movement. Kenji unleashes a flurry of arrows. The demon bear blocks the arrows with his hammer and pounces at Kenji, lightning bolts twisting around him. Bruno sees his chance to get close to the demon bear, so he leaps into the air towards the demon bear. Bruno's green-blue aura began forming around the shield. Bruno spins in the air and throws the shield, but the demon bear evades, and the shield is headed for Kenji. Kenji catches the shield as he spins. He throws it toward the demon bear, and at the same time, Bruno lands, thrusting the spear into the demon's skull, causing it to dissipate as Bruno lands on one knee. They pick up the magic red orb, and the energy from the magic red orb unlock the gate leading to the king. As Kenji and Bruno walk through the giant gate, the sound of katanas colliding echo through the castle. An eruption of demonic laughter echoing through the air. Demon Genku, you are too late! As they enter the room, Genku and Demon Genku's katana remain locked together as they push one another back. Demon Genku overpowers Genku Takesama, and he falls to the ground. As Demon Genku is preparing the final blow, flames erupt from the ground beneath him. Kenji, with blinding speed, then catches Demon Genku's katana, with teeth biting down with a force that begins to crack the blade. Kenji then removes Bhaji's katana from its sheath, thrusting it into the demon. As Kenji slashes the demon with the katana, Demon Genku's blood began to splatter all over the castle's walls. Demon Genku, while grasping the hilt of his katana, and swings Kenji into Bruno. Just then, Genku Takisama pushes himself to rise up from the ground, throwing a flurry of shuriken. But Demon Genku's aura stops the shuriken in its tracks, and they drop to the ground. Bruno dashes towards Demon Genku, just as Kenji pounces towards Demon Genku. Bruno then flips into the air, swinging his spear as yellow shockwaves emit from Bruno's spear. Kenji then begins to mirror Bruno's movements, and shockwaves emit from Kenji's katana. Demon Genku, imbeciles! Do you really think mirroring the movement of one another will be enough to defeat me? My power far exceeds that of any mortal. Demon Genku's body began morphing into his true form. What is this? Said Demon Genku, scared and confused. Why have I reverted into my original form? The shockwaves emitting from Bruno's spear and Kenji's katana had been draining Demon Genku of his dark magic. An eerie voice began echoing in Kenji's mind. Kenji, the demon is weakened. Kenji began picturing Bhaji. Avenge me, Kenji! Kenji and Bruno, ah! Just as Kenji and Bruno's attacks are ready to connect, Genku Takisama grabs Demon Genku by his throat. He then lifts him into the air as Kenji and Bruno pierce through his body. But unlike the demons in their battles before, Demon Genku's body does not begin to dissipate. As they catch their breath, chills begin running down Kenji's spine. Demon Genku's blood began to pulsate and combine together. It appears the battle is not yet over, Kenji said. As the blood continues to combine, it morphs into Demon Genku. I told you, I'm much too powerful for you. The only way to kill me is to completely disintegrate my every cell. So long as a single cell remains, my body will continue to regenerate. Kenji, then I shall do just that. Ah! Kenji, Bruno, and Genku Takisama begin combining their attacks, causing Demon Genku to lose his footing. The light energy emitting from their weapons surge through Demon Genku's body, disintegrating every last molecule of Demon Genku. Bhaji's spirit begins to appear in front of Kenji. Thank you, Kenji. You have avenged me and brought honor back to my family. Bhaji's spirit then begins to dissipate as he waves and shares his last words to his friend Kenji the Tiger Archer. Farewell, my friend. In the heart of the castle, the echoes of clashing katanas and demonic laughter fade into an eerie silence. Genku Takisama. Kenji, Bruno, you have done well. Genku Takisama. Kenji, there is something you must know. Something that has been hidden for too long. Kenji, what is it, Genku? Genku Takisama. The demon Genku. He was once my brother. Kenji, do not begin to regret your decision, Genku. That demon was no longer your brother. He was a sinister being that cost Bhaji his life. You have done right by helping me avenge him. Peace had once again begun to reign across all the villages. The village children can run and play once again. Bruno soon began hearing voices raining down from the heavens. Bruno, the voice said, soft but powerful. You have made many mistakes in the past, aiding Kenji and bringing peace back to the villages. Today you have atoned for your past. Bruno, having been lifted off his curse, is finally returned to his human form. Thanks to our unlikely heroes, Bhaji's tale would be told for generations to come. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, Kenji, Bruno, and Genku stood amidst the remnants of chaos. The journey had been long and arduous, but now a new dawn was breaking. The sun rose, casting a golden hue over the land, symbolizing a new beginning. Kenji, with a heart full of hope and a spirit renewed, looked towards the horizon. The path ahead was clear. A journey of peace and prosperity awaited. With allies by his side and lessons learned, Kenji and Bruno embark on this new chapter, ready to build a world of harmony and unity. The story of Bhaji was not just one of battles and conflicts, but of resilience, hope, and the unyielding quest for peace. And so, the journey continued towards a brighter, peaceful future.